the environment has become very controversial nowadays, right? Everything is, for example, when you go to Home Depot, it used to be, I think a couple years ago, or maybe even last year in 2024, where you couldn't buy a gas lawnmower anymore in California, right? There was only electric lawnmowers, and now we're trying to, California was trying to go, sorry, I have the timer, was trying to go fully electric on everything, including vehicles. But the only problem is who regulates that? The federal government. So there was, Congress has just approved that it's not in, there's a certain goal for California to go straight EV. All vehicles must be EV. You cannot drive a vehicle that is gas powered. Well, that's no longer in effect because the federal government stepped in. It went to the court, and the Supreme Court decided that that's a little bit taking away your constitutional rights. So they were stepping on the feet of the Constitution. Thus, any state that does that obviously is not going to be upheld in court. Anything that steps on the foot of the Constitution is definitely going to be overturned. So we don't have that anymore. But if you think about it, the environment has been a big, big, big deal, right? It is. So it's just getting bigger. There's more cases on it now. It's becoming more controversial. If you look out there, even with colleges, there's so many more, I guess you can say degrees or certificates that are based on environmental law or environment, period, right? So it's becoming something a lot bigger. Okay. So, of course, Congress has to pass the statutes, okay? So, Congress passed a number of statutes to control the impact of human activities on the environment. Now, just think about some of the human activities on the environment. Trash, water, right? When you're watering, trash, all that good stuff. And we'll talk about how they regulate all of that. Some of these statutes were passed in an attempt to improve the quality of air and water. That's their goal. And I have to tell you this, when it comes to trying to pass a new rule of law through Congress, especially if Congress is trying to pass it or if the government's trying to pass it, they have to give an absolutely very good reason why. So what they did was they said, oh, we want to improve the air quality and we want to improve the quality of the water. Okay. And as long as that's kind of improving human I can say environment, right? They're going to probably pass it through. Okay? So they have to have an absolutely concrete reason why they want these new laws to be passed. So they used that, the quality of air, and they want greater quality of water. Okay? So some of them specifically regulate toxic chemicals. Okay? Toxic chemicals and hazardous waste. Now, if you think about it, hazardous waste has grown so much since the electronic world came into effect. Laptops, batteries on your phone, cell phones, batteries on a vehicle now. I drive a Tesla and my Tesla is very heavy. The battery on a Tesla is huge, huge, right? So what are we going to do with that battery when it goes out? What do we do with the batteries? We don't have answers for all of that. They're getting there, but the point is this, those are all hazardous waste. We can't just take the Tesla battery and dump it over at the dump yard that's in our city. Do you get what I'm saying? We can't take our cell phones. We're not supposed to throw our cell phones in the trash or our laptops or whatever else is electronics, even TVs nowadays, right? So they're trying to crack down on that kind of stuff. And Congress has passed a lot of new laws for that, but we're not quite there yet. Not there yet, okay? We're going to look at Exhibit 19.1 on the next slide. List the major federal statutes that apply to various areas of the environment. Because regulations change frequently, a paralegal who works in the area will want to keep on top of all the changes. I have to say, I don't know if this is the most type of law where the changes are constantly coming, constantly.